It's me, Amario.
What's going on?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good. Finally got in, huh?
Yeah, well, I had some technical difficulties with my phone, and it's just so frustrating.
It's
So,
all good.
yeah, I'm sorry.
You're good, man. Gotta love technology.
Yeah, well, my phone, like, we've done this many times, and my phone, for some reason, decided that it didn't want to cooperate.
Yeah,
So, I'm not sure if we're live on the broadcast yet or not.
we are. We absolutely are.
Oh, wow.
I think so.
All right. So, I read your bio this morning. You're young. You're 29 years old.
Yep, I am.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Is
Baby.
that a compliment or?
That's a good thing, man. I mean, you're doing big things. You guys, credit card processing is a big deal. And for small businesses, as you mentioned in the bio that you sent, or those questions that Eric sent,
Yeah.
you understand it. You understand where it's going. You understand how important it is during COVID. You understand a lot of different things.
Yeah, it's I mean, and that all comes from experience. I've when I sold for a previous company and I signed up about 300 accounts roughly over 5 years, and then with certain pays got close to 500 clients. So, and we did that in about a year and a half. So, like, it's all experience, and I love it too. Like, I will always be amazed at the ability to take a piece of plastic and turn it into a liquid deposit into a merchant's bank account. I just think it's so cool. So,
Right.
yeah.
So talk to me about a lot of different things that, like, I'll tell you my experience when I first started. I learned about the different levels of credit card processing very, very quickly when I was paying a big percentage on a third tier, getting paid 2-3 days later, like a whole mess of things that guys make mistakes on. Can you talk about kind of like where some of the big mistakes little guys make?
Yeah.
Where those mistakes are, and kind of how your company can kind of alleviate those issues.
Sure. I'd say the first mistake. Well, how long ago were you on the 3-tiered system? Probably a few years back, right?
Many years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So it's changed since then. Like, here, I'm gonna grab my credit card here. Some other cards. Like, I have an Amex card right here and a Huntington card, which is a debit card, and there's a different cost on every card, right? So if it's a 0% interest card, if there's points, perks, miles, all that stuff equates to a greater cost. But if it's like a debit card, it's very inexpensive, right? Most debit cards. And like here, I got all these cards, right? This is a business debit card. This is a Capital One venture card. Our business debit card. Each card has its own rate that the banks and the banks charge, and then card brands make money too on top of that, and then the processor charges a fee in some way, shape, or form above it. We would never set somebody up on a tiered pricing structure if they're a low risk merchant, because it leaves so much room for the gray area for the processor to win and the merchant to lose. And at the end of the day, it's all about the out the door cost, like the effective rate. But most people on a tiered pricing structure, like, that's very outdated. Typically what we do for every account, except for a few unique scenarios and situations, we charge the true cost of every card, so what the banks and the card brands charge, and then it's either or a percentage of gross sales, a transaction fee, or a monthly fee, like whatever we need to do to hit the correct price point for that specific risk level and account size. So it's all subjective too. Like, there's certain situations where, like, if there's more volume, millions of dollars a month versus hundreds or thousands, like, it's all based on unit, right? You buy in bulk, you get a better deal. So it's pretty cool. We do it. Everyone's priced competitively. So.
Right. So what do you think what do you think people should be looking at right now before they look at your brand, to make sure that maybe switching to your brand would be the right thing? What are some of the key things that
I wrote a blog about this. Actually, there's a million reasons to change credit card processors. A very common one is a perceived price reduction or cost savings. And all the processing companies have the same cost structure. So it doesn't matter if unless you're like Walmart or a huge organization doing billions of transactions. Small business owners, they all face the same cost structure, so do the processors. And you really want something based on your business type. Is it the right solution? Do you have a rep that manages your account that is paid on your success? Do you trust the company you're working with? And are there ever situations that you wish that you had this problem resolved, but you just like haven't gotten around to it? It could be something simple like we want to disable customer receipts because it's paper and nobody wants their receipts, but you just haven't done it. That's an example of it's like a reason to like at least look into it, right? And you could pull out a credit card statement or open it up on your email if you get it on email, and you can look for a few words on there that would tell you that you're probably not in the right situation from a pricing standpoint. Number one, look for the words, you probably know this, qualified, mid-qualified, non-qualified, right? You totally know it. That's especially if you're in this group, because correct me if I'm wrong, everybody in this group runs at least a retail store or a mobile electronics company, right? Tell me more, like, is that who we're talking to right now?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, like everyone's pretty much low risk. You shouldn't be on a tiered structure. So look for that, mid-qualified, qualified, non-qualified. Look for the word standard. Look for the word surcharge. Look for the word EIRF, or the acronym. That stands for Electronic Interchange Reimbursement Fee. Or look for the word PCI, or the phrase PCI non-compliance fee. If you're non-compliant, you're potentially vulnerable to a breach, which can hurt your business. And it's in today's world, like a lot of people are getting hacked, and it could be avoided by having the right security measures in place. Doing a self-assessment questionnaire to make sure your business is locked down, little things like that, because breaches are really expensive, and if you're non-compliant, you're paying a fee.
Well, I know for a fact that compliancy is kind of a new thing, maybe in the last couple of years, right?
It's probably like, I could get you the exact date. I bet you it's like 8 to 10 years old, PCI compliance. Stands for Payment Card Industry Compliance.
Maybe it just came up. I don't know. So I just dealt with that recently, so that's why.
Yeah. You know what? Some people, it's crazy how a lot of processors view it as a money grab opportunity. Like the company that I used to sell for, I did well there. I was a top producer. They were charging $125 per month for non-compliance, and it could be a restaurant or a small business doing $5,000 a month. That's billed $125.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, man, it was a money. I mean, I don't want to say I didn't make the decisions on that, and it really bothered me that I wasn't in control. That's why I decided to start my own company. You're talking, that's what, $1,500 a year. That's a lot of money and most merchants don't read their statements. So that concept alone is one of the reasons why I decided to leave and start my own business with my partner Marshall. And then also it inspired Rate Tracker, which is the shirt I'm wearing right now. Rate Tracker is a free tool for business owners that allows you to understand. So there's educational components to it, and then also automatically keep track of your credit card fees every month. So think of it as like a watchdog that watches over your account. And if your account is processing, you're at like 2.5%, whatever, and all of a sudden it shoots up, your bank account will tell that story, and Rate Tracker will be able to like know if it's a significant increase or not. Because sometimes the rates fluctuate, based on your average ticket or the card types you accept, or maybe you stopped taking payments face to face and you're taking them all over the phone. Well, that costs more money, right? Because there's more risk. And Rate Tracker is designed to identify when a rate increase happens, and when it does happen, you can click a button and talk to one of my salespeople. So it's kind of nice because it's like it solves a big problem, and you don't have to be a certain paid client to get value from it, and it's free.
So that's also one of your products.
Yeah. I own 100% of Rate Tracker. CertainPay is the payment processing company. Rate Tracker is a concept tool software system that I created with the help of an amazing software developer. and his team, and it's just launched about a month ago, and it's doing really well. Merchants love it. It fulfills a need, and it solves a problem that most merchants have dealt with.
So it's funny that you say that, because we've all been at work and we see nicely dressed young men or women come into our store with their thing, their whatever briefcase or whatever, and we're like, hey, I'm here to save you money on your credit card billing.
Yep. I hate that. I just hate it.
Because you know what that is. The guys come in, they'll give you a good rate for 1 or 2 months.
Yep.
Or after the 1 or 2 months, boom, because you never
Yeah. And the reason why my partner Marshall and I align so well is like we would never ever teach our team to go out and sell like that, because it's first of all, it's usually a gimmick, right? And credit card processing is pretty profitable. Like we average, I'll give you easy numbers, and I know most people won't disclose this that are in my position that own a payments company. We make about $180 a month top line revenue on average per client. Some merchants, we make a few $1,000s a month because they do cash discount. That's when they charge the fee to the customer, and they do a lot of volume. And some merchants, we make $10 a month because they process a couple grand, right? It averages to 180, and like that's totally fine. That's perfect for our business model. It's fair for the customer and it's fair for us. But I'm never going to say to our people, hey guys, today's rate is 2%. Go out and sell it. And then the merchant finds out 2-3 months later that it's increased, because we have to hit our margins. We have to make money. There's no secret to doing this business. Like we charge.
Every business needs to make money.
Yeah. And the thing is, here's the issue. And it's not the issue, I shouldn't say. It's a challenge that I gratefully accept, because it forces us to be the best. Is nobody wants to pay credit card fees, whether you're a merchant or a card holder, right? Because now it's called cash discount. It's becoming a very popular thing where the customer is charged either a transaction fee or a 3.99% fee to use the card, plastic card, right?
How do you feel about that?
I think that it's becoming more common for a reason, and that's because business owners are doing whatever they can to stay afloat right now because of all the uncertainty. And I also think the card brands hate it. Visa and MasterCard hate it because it cuts down on their volume. Because what does it do? It incentivizes the consumer to bring cash and get that 3.99% discount, so they don't have to pay that fee, right? And I know that merchants love it. Usually, we've got probably, I don't know, I'd say it's about 10% of our customer base, 50 or so merchants that use cash discount. And it is a decision that you think about as a business owner, like, do I want to charge my customers this fee? Like, and really what you're asking yourself is, am I afraid that I'm going to lose business? And I'll tell you from experience that your customers don't buy from you because of the price. They buy from you because they want to support you. They love your service. They love your people. They love your brand. Because if they cared about price, they would go to Best Buy or Walmart or big companies that can do that, right? That's small business at its core, right? That's what I love about it. And it's so we've never had a situation where somebody was like, oh, switch me back to the traditional program. Like, my customers hate me. It's 100% how you roll it out, and our team helps with that. But
well, there's a lot of things that you have to do legally to make it work,
yes,
right?
Yes. You have to have a sign. Go ahead.
There's just and it varies from state to state. So
yeah,
I know this because we've thought about doing that in my store, but you have
to do so. It's exactly, and it's some businesses, like if you're in the auto repair business, in fact, that was our first cash discount client earlier this summer. Is an auto repair shop that the guy's been in business for like probably 30 years, and he's just like, I'm sick of paying credit card fees. He does like 60 grand a month, so he was paying probably close to 1,500 or so a month, give or take, and that's 18 grand a year. He didn't want to pay that anymore. So now what he does is he charges the fee, right? He has zero cost to take credit cards, and his customers are loyal to him because they trust him, right? they're not going to say, well, screw you, I'm going to Midas or, Jiffy Lube or whatever to get my oil changes done. They just pay the fee or they bring cash, So it's interesting. His credit card sales have dropped to like 40 grand and his cash sales have increased. And so he's like about 50-50. He's doing about $1 million a year in total sales. And he's like, I would never go back to it, man. I love it. I know my customers. People can write me a check. They can pay with cash. I'm good with it. So
yeah. That's funny because, the numbers that you use in that scenario are very close to most top 50 percentile, of retailers in our industry. So that 500,000 to $1 million mark is going to be kind of, I guess that's a big range, but that's kind of.
The other thing to think about too is that when we set a merchant up with the traditional program, our margin is significantly less than cash discount because we're not going to set people up with a flat fee of 3.99%. It's just not it's just not competitive, right? But the goal with cash discount is to incentivize more cash. That's because we're not penalizing the cardholder, we're rewarding those that pay in cash. Because technically speaking, most businesses, and I guarantee you everybody watching this would agree with me that your pricing in your business is based on the fact that you accept credit cards and you have a 2 to 3, maybe 4% fee on your transactions out the door at the end of the month that you need to account for and build into your costs. So it's a cost of business. You can, your pricing might be reflected based on that. And what does that do to the people that like to pay in cash? It discriminates against them, right? They're not able to get that, or they're basically paying for the people that use the credit cards to get their points and miles and perks. And what cash discount does is it levels the playing field and it says to somebody, hey, if you want to pay me in credit, that's cool. There's a fee for it, and I'm done paying it. You're paying it, or just bring me cash. It's cool. We can make it work, So
you're a proponent. You're okay with it.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I mean, there's this thing that people think like, oh, it's illegal. It's actually not. It's governed by a part of the Dodd-Frank Act, which is known as the Durbin Amendment, and the Durbin Amendment, among other things, speaks about cash discount and allowing every federal state to do it. So there's like there's no smoke and mirrors. It's like you can eliminate your credit card fees. You just have to make the decision and be comfortable with it that you're going to charge the customer a service fee, right? And if they don't want to pay it, then they bring cash. And yeah, you will have some people that are really like not happy with it, but you're not going to lose 3% of your business. You might lose a couple clients, but it's okay. You're saving a ton of money.
Right.
So, yeah.
So let's go back to your idea that you had with your ID, your patent that you. No, I just want to close on something because look, not everything works, right? Not everything works, and obviously that didn't work out for you. But I think you have a good barometer. You're an entrepreneur, just like everybody that's in this group. Can you just talk about like how hard you tried to make that work and then how this is working for you much better than your other idea and it's a little simpler?
Yeah, and that's cool. It's funny you brought that up. So ID Rewards was the name of the business, and what it was a rewards program that the consumer, you and I going into the pizza shop, the ice cream shop, the movie theater, as long as you had your ID, meaning like your driver's license in your wallet, a card that you already carry, if you have this ID, you could go into the pizza shop and get your points and perks at that business. So maybe they do like buy 5 pizzas, get a 6th one free, and you use your driver's license so they can keep track of it, right? Then you go across the street for dessert and you get, your ice cream cone. And if you buy 5 ice cream cones, you get a 6th free. However the business wants to structure it, like it could be a points system or a dollar system. The idea was to eliminate the need to have a card for every rewards program and just tie that access to a card that every consumer has on their wallet already, And so we had so what I did was I started with this previous company for payment processing, right? They did loyalty programs, gift cards, credit card processing, and I wanted to learn how to sell I wanted to learn how small businesses make decisions and buy and sell, because that patent was, it was really, I thought it was going to be a hit, right? Turns out the market thought otherwise, and what it was is the consumer. They
didn't like putting out their ID.
Yeah, they didn't like pulling out their ID, and also people still think that social security numbers are on their driver's license, and that hasn't been a thing since like 2008, I think, if memory serves. So, learned a lot in that process. We had like 18 stores using it. We had a couple convenience stores. We had some restaurants, a few retail shops, and a pizza place too.
But it was local. All those things were local.
Yeah, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, so it was everyone was everybody was in Cleveland, Ohio, and so what we did was I had a partner that used to be a great friend, and we're cool now. We just don't hang out much. We have different interests, and I was doing all the work, making everything happen. I wasn't satisfied with that, and also the market told us it's not a good product. Like it's a good idea in theory. There's other programs out there that are way better. You can type in your phone number, right? And so we squashed it. In the process, like I was a delusional entrepreneur too. And we launched this thing, I think, in January 2017, right after I got engaged, right, with my wife. And I had just closed on a condo, and, we had a wedding plan, right? So I launched it, and within like 2 months, we ran out of money, and I had to take a loan from my parents in order to pay for the just expenses. I ran myself completely dry, maxed out credit cards, lost all my money. Simply because I believed in this concept and I was just delusional until basically I had an awesome moment of clarity and I was like, this product sucks. It's time to go back to payments. And so
I don't think it sucked. I think that your idea was there, right? But like, people want the easiest way to make it happen, and pulling out your wallet, and showing your ID every time is kind of tough.
Yeah, exactly. And it also wasn't something that I was like really passionate about. And at the time, like the thing about payment processing is like, and I was probably 3 years into the time, I had built up a name in Cleveland. Like a lot of people knew me as the guy to go to, and that like I worked hard for them. I was good with customer service. I answered their phone calls, call them back. And I had business coming in that I just referred to people that worked for that company I used to be at. And like, I realized, I was like, man, I got a good thing going here. And just go back and really like payment processing is more necessary than rewards programs. If your credit card machine goes down, dude, you're probably going to get, that's an issue, especially for a retailer, right? But it's a much more immediate need, and I love it. Like I'm so passionate about it. I think it's really cool. And I really think that Rate Tracker, this t-shirt I'm wearing, is potentially an industry disruptor because it tells the truth. It's an educational tool, and there's transparency. Like to me, it's what I'm mostly excited about.
Right. So. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna end this now. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And if you need anything from us or the people watching, hit them up. Get your stuff right. All right, guys. Later.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.